On an unexpected turn of events, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi met a tragic end in a helicopter crash. This shocking incident occurred on a Sunday, when President Raisi, along with Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian and 6 others, were on board a helicopter. The aircraft, for reasons yet under investigation, tragically crashed, leaving no survivors. The immediate aftermath of the crash was fraught with disbelief and confusion. As the news spread, Iran and the rest of the world were gripped by a sense of uncertainty. The suddenness of the event made it all the more difficult for many to comprehend the magnitude of the loss. The Iranian government officially announced the death of President Raisi, their foreign minister, and the others on board the ill-fated helicopter. The announcement plunged the nation into mourning, with the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei declaring 5 days of mourning in honor of the deceased. In addition to President Raisi, the crash claimed the lives of some of Iran's most influential figures, leaving a significant void in the Iranian political landscape. The abrupt departure of these key figures has inevitably set the stage for a period of political transition and uncertainty. The sudden death of President Raisi sent shockwaves throughout Iran and the rest of the world. The tragic incident has left many grappling with the reality of the situation as they come to terms with the sudden loss of a significant political figure. The news of President Raisi's passing was met with a plethora of reactions, both within Iran and across the globe. The tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of not just Raisi, but also Iran's foreign minister and 6 others, has left the world in a state of shock and contemplation. From the heart of Iran, the reactions have been a mix of profound sorrow and discreet jubilation. Thousands attended Raisi's funeral procession in Tabriz, paying their last respects to a man who, regardless of his controversial past, was their leader. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei declared a mourning period of 5 days, reflecting the gravity of the loss for the nation. Yet there were also pockets of celebration, a testament to the division Raisi's rule had sown among the Iranian populace. Internationally, world leaders have been quick to express their condolences, albeit with varying degrees of sincerity. There's a palpable sense of uncertainty as nations navigate the diplomatic waters in the wake of this unexpected incident. Raisi's death has triggered a wave of speculation about the future of Iran's alliances, particularly in light of its recent tilt towards Russia and China. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which Iran was on the verge of joining, could now face a reshuffling of dynamics. Human rights organizations and advocacy groups worldwide have not held back their comments either. For many, Raisi was the butcher of Tehran, a man whose tenure was marked by human rights abuses. His death has led some to express hope for a shift in Iran's domestic and foreign policies, albeit with cautious optimism. As the news of Raisi's death continues to reverberate around the globe, many are left questioning what this could mean for the future of Iran. The vacuum in leadership presents both challenges and opportunities, and the world watches with bated breath, waiting to see how the narrative unfolds. In a solemn display of respect, thousands of Iranians turned out to participate in President Raisi's funeral procession. The procession commenced in Tabriz, a city that carries significant historical resonance, and wove its way through the streets, a river of mourners following the cortege. Among the attendees, notable figures from Iran's political landscape were present, their faces etched with grief. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei declared 5 days of mourning, a testament to the magnitude of the loss that the country is grappling with. Acting President Mohammad Mokhber and Interim Foreign Minister Ali Bagheri Kani were also present, their somber expressions mirroring the mood of this procession. But the funeral procession was not just a gathering of the political elite. It was a sea of everyday Iranians from all walks of life who came to pay their respects. Many held aloft pictures of the late president, their faces a mix of sorrow and reverence. There were chants, prayers, and tears, an outpouring of emotions that painted a poignant picture of a nation in mourning. Yet, not all responses to the procession were of grief. In some corners, there were discreet celebrations, a stark contrast to the prevailing atmosphere of sorrow. These reactions are indicative of the controversial figure that Raisi was, a man both revered and reviled in equal measure. President Raisi's funeral procession was not just a farewell to a leader, but a reflection of the complexity of public sentiment in Iran. It was a display of the deep divisions that exist within Iranian society, the chasms between those who mourned Raisi's death and those who quietly celebrated it. The funeral procession of President Raisi was a stark reminder of the deep divide in public sentiment towards the late president. As a controversial figure, President Raisi leaves behind a complex legacy. President Ebrahim Raisi's political career was marked by a hardline stance and a shift towards autocracy, a trajectory set into motion by the withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear deal and the subsequent crippling sanctions imposed by the United States. His election in 2021 was marred by manipulation and low voter turnout, reflecting a shift towards conservative control in Iran that further fueled discontent among its citizens. Raisi's controversial past was not limited to his presidency. Known to some as the Butcher of Tehran, he was a figure intertwined with human rights abuses, casting a dark shadow over his rule. This reputation sparked widespread criticism, both domestically and internationally, further isolating Iran on the global stage. Yet his leadership also signified a strategic reorientation for Iran. Under Raisi, Iran moved closer to Russia and China, signing a memorandum of obligations to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This was a clear pivot away from Western influence, a response to the sanctions and isolation imposed by the United States. He sought to strengthen ties with China and Russia through arms sales and economic partnerships, a decision that, while controversial, was an attempt to ensure Iran's survival amidst escalating global tensions. The implications of Raisi's death on Iran's political landscape are significant. His sudden departure leaves a vacuum of power and a nation at a crossroads. It's a moment of uncertainty, with the potential to either further entrench the hardline rule or pave the way for a new era of reform and moderation. Only time will tell what direction Iran will take. The legacy of President Raisi, a figure of controversy and contention, will undoubtedly continue to influence Iran's future. With President Raisi's sudden death, a power vacuum has been created in Iran's political landscape. The sudden demise of a leader, particularly one as influential and controversial as Raisi, inevitably sends waves of uncertainty and speculation about the future. In the immediate aftermath of Raisi's death, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei declared 5 days of mourning and swiftly appointed Mohammad Mokhber as the acting president. With Raisi's unexpected departure, Mokhber, a previously less prominent figure, has been thrust into the limelight, steering the ship of Iran's complex political machinery. However, the position of acting president is a temporary solution. The question of Raisi's successor is a weighty one, with significant implications for the future political direction of Iran. The succession could potentially shift the balance of power, either consolidating the hardline conservative control or opening the door for a more reformist approach. The sudden nature of Raisi's departure may also impact Iran's foreign relations. Prior to his death, Iran had been inching closer to Russia and China, partly as a response to U.S. sanctions and isolation. Raisi's successor's stance on these alliances could either continue this trajectory or introduce a new direction. Internally, Raisi's death may also affect the public sentiment within Iran. While thousands mourned Raisi's death, there were also those who celebrated, a reflection of the deep divides within Iranian society. The next leader's challenge will be to navigate these divides, either seeking to bridge them or, potentially, further entrenching them. In conclusion, the death of President Raisi has opened a new chapter in Iran's political history, a chapter filled with uncertainty and speculation. The coming months will be pivotal as Iran seeks to fill the power vacuum and chart its future political course. As Iran and the world come to terms with the sudden loss of President Raisi, the future political landscape of Iran remains uncertain, with many questions left unanswered.